Wanna talk? So let's talk. Yeah. Talk. You wanna talk? You gotta talk, you need to talk. News talk.
I talk, you talk to Solomon. I talk, you talk to Solomon. Yeah, let's talk to Solomon. Talk to Solomon.
You gotta talk, you
Welcome, folks, to an unusual show here at Talk to Solomon. I'm Stan Solomon. I'm the host. My co-host,
Chief Steve.
former police chief Steve Davis, and also our co-host today from Parts Unknown is our friend Brent Johnson. Brent.
Hi there. It's not parts unknown. I'm in the southern hemisphere, however.
All right, well,
I'm things from here.
some unknown part of the southern hemisphere. All right. We also have a guest today. His name is IQ Al Rassooli, and we don't know where he is, nor do we want to know. We don't know what he looks like, nor do we want to know. We want the information he has for us, and thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. Now, I talked before we started this segment about what you'd be talking about, but let me just kind of lay out the groundwork, and then I'll hand it to you. Mr. Al Rassooli obviously is in danger, because anytime you say anything negative about the radical Muslim movement, which manifests in many ways in many parts of the world, their retort is to do harm to you. So he is concerned over his physical safety, and therefore we're not showing his picture. We don't have any idea how to get a hold of him. He contacted us. But in England, where the Olympics are ongoing right now, it was well known, well documented, well talked about by many, many people over a number of years that the Muslim enclaves, which had grown very powerful in England, had a philosophy, and that was if you were not a Muslim, then they could do whatever they wanted to do. And what they were doing was finding young girls that were not Muslim and, quote unquote, training them, enslaving them, preening them, and pimping them, and raping these girls and making them become prostitutes for no benefit for them, for benefit for these Muslim, whatever you want to call them, radicals. Now, am I close here?
You're exactly on spot.
All right, tell us what's happening. You have a book that you talk about this. The book is called Lifting the Veil, correct?
It's Lifting the Veil, The True Faces of Muhammad in Islam. It's a trilogy. There are 3 books. They cover 248 audio videos that I have on the web, on YouTube. It's called Idiot's Guide to Islam. My supporters, which are in the hundreds of thousands, they said, IQ, we can't just go on listening to you. We need to have hard copy. So I put my script of the audio videos in book form. So anybody who wants to access this information, if they don't want to buy them, they don't have to buy them. They can go and read my articles on my own web free of charge. All you need to do is Google my name, Al Rassooli, ALRASSOOLI, and spend 1 hour of your time. Believe me, it will be very rewarding. Rewarding to you, not to me. Regarding what you just discussed, I shall start with the attitude of the male followers of the cult of Muhammad regarding women, and then I shall explain why they act the way in the depraved manner that they do. Muhammad's Quran and Sunnah is the tradition about Muhammad, are the foundation stones of Sharia. Sharia considers the females of the human species as just one little step higher up the ladder of evolution than domestic animals, to be bartered, disfranchised, chastised, and beaten at the whim of their male counterparts. Just look at how their women are forced to dress and be subservient, how they are treated with humiliation and degradation by their male counterpart, be they their fathers, brothers, or relatives. The women of Islam are covered from head to toe because any exposed part of their body would incite the uncontrollable sexual desires of the male Muhammadan Muslim beyond self-control. Their women are thus covered as if they were genitals to be hidden. Ladies and gentlemen, calling Islam peaceful ranks as one of the most egregious lies that has ever been perpetrated or insinuated into the human consciousness. If what I had just stated sounds outrageous and disgusting, I would like you to digest the following facts and then make up your minds. Dear Americans, it is imperative that you are made aware of the following politically incorrect and extremely provocative and outrageously sounding statements and conclusions, based entirely upon 30 years of researching the subjects of Muhammad, his Quran, Arab and Islamic histories in Arabic, my mother tongue, in 780 chapters, 310 audio videos, 330 live radio interviews, and 3 published books of the trilogy called Lifting the Veil, as well as hundreds of published articles. The unchallengeable facts are totally avoided by most of the leaders in the media, academia, politicians, and clergy to bring out to the attention of the American and European peoples lest they offend the Mohammedan Muslims. We are always trying not to offend the most racist bunch of people on the planet. Let me put these facts in as mild and as polite a manner as possible, lest I too may offend the followers of Muhammad. 1. Calling Islam peaceful is one of the most egregious lies that has ever been insinuated into the human consciousness. Islam means only one thing: submission. This is submission to the will of a God or an entity called Allah. 2. Allah is most certainly not the same as the God of Abraham, Moses, and Jesus, because Allah is only the name of the supreme God of pagan Arabia among a pantheon of 360 gods and goddesses centuries before Muhammad and his Quran. 3. Muhammad was not a prophet, since he did not predict a single item that came out to be true. 4. Muhammadan Islam is not a religion, but a cult belief system, the cult of Muhammad. 5. Jihad is most certainly not a struggle to commune with God, but unremitting war against all those who do not believe as Muhammadan Muslims do. And this is actually the most important pillar of Muhammadan Islam. Ladies and gentlemen, based on 30 years of research, I can assert without a shadow or even a reasonable doubt that every single letter in the Quran, every word, every ayah, verse, and every surah chapter were never revealed to Muhammad by any God called Allah or any messenger called Gabriel. Because in fact and reality, they are the sole product of Muhammad's imagination, the secretions of his warped mind, his alter ego, his autobiography, but very cleverly projected into the unsuspecting mouth of Allah and Gabriel to give them the aura of sanctity and divinity. That is why Muhammad, his Quran, his Sunnah, Sharia, and his fundamentalist followers are hate-mongering, war-mongering, misogynist, duplicitous, disloyal, mendacious, racist, vile, and is totally ungodly. Back to you, sir.
Well, I must tell you that I would like to second your emotion and your motion and say that I haven't begun to have done the research that you have done, but I can add 1 and 1. And I don't think it's complicated to understand that when you read, which I have read, the 3 parts, if you will, of the Muslim faith, the life of Muhammad, the thoughts of Muhammad, and then the comments on Muhammad, that you come up with, this is a crock of crap. That to buy into this, you have to be mentally deficient in things like right and wrong, fair and unfair, just and unjust, and truth and distortion. But it comes down to that Muslims have been fighting with everybody, including themselves, ever since the advent of this so-called faith, and that more Muslims have been killed by Muslims than all the other peoples of the world put together, multiplied by 1,000. The obvious is obvious.
You are 100% correct, but as obvious as it is, the Western mind is not willing to accept these facts. Why? Because most Westerners, especially because they are based on Judeo-Christian foundations, cannot believe, they cannot believe that what is called a religion, which of course you and I know is not a religion, can be so vile. But really, all these things can make sense only when I quote chapter and verse from the Quran. Do you mind if I quote a few verses?
We don't mind at all.
Now, the verses I'm quoting in English, these were not translated from Arabic to English by Zionists or by Christian fundamentalists. These were translated to English by the government of Saudi Arabia. Starting, Al-Ma'idah, that's the name in Arabic of the chapter. Chapter 5, verse 51. It says, O ye who believe, Muslims, take not the Jews, Yahud, Arabic, and the Christians, Nasara, Arabic, for your friends and protectors. They are but friends and protectors to each other, and he amongst you that turns to them for friendship is of them. This means that if you have a Mohammedan Muslim befriending a Christian or a Jew, he becomes an apostate. He becomes anti-Muhammadan Muslim. Al-Imran 3.85. If anyone desires a religion other than Islam, submission to Allah, never will it be accepted of him. Al-Tawbah 9.33. It is He, Allah, who has sent His Apostle Muhammad with guidance and the religion of truth, Islam, to proclaim it over all other religions. Ladies and gentlemen, these verses remind me of Hitler's Mein Kampf, the Nazi master race creed. Al-Anfal 8.55. For the worst of beasts in the sight of Allah are those who reject Him. They will not believe. La yu'minuna. Ladies and gentlemen, these beasts that Allah is mentioning are all unbelievers or infidels. Currently, unbelievers represent 80% of humanity. All Christians, Buddhists, Hindus, Jews, atheists, agnostics, etc. That is any and all those who are not Muslims. Back to you, sir.
Now, let me ask you this question, then I'm going to let the rest of the panel participate. And I ask this please be as succinct and unemotional as is possible. Is it possible for a Muslim to accept someone who is not a Muslim, to allow them to continue for the long term? Is that even possible?
No.
Well,
why? Because I just quoted to you in chapter and verse from the Quran. I want our listeners to understand. The Muslim is not born evil. Nobody is born evil. They are indoctrinated to be evil by their leaders and by Sharia based on the Quran. If somebody follows the Nazi creed of Hitler, he has to follow the instructions as stated. He cannot befriend the Jews. That will be a contradiction. It's an oxymoron. It cannot be done. The same thing with Islam. To call, for example, the Muslims in America, they say they are loyal Americans. It is impossible. It sounds outrageous what I'm saying. True. It sounds outrageous. But it isn't. Why? No Muhammadan Muslim can ever be loyal to any constitution. It doesn't matter whether it's in America or Europe or Russia or China or India, which is not Allah made. If it's not from the Quran, it cannot be obeyed. The other one, the other part, they cannot be loyal to any group of people who are not Muslim. Because if they're not Muslim, they are unbelievers, they are kuffar, they are infidels. Who are the Americans who are not Muslim? Over 95% of the American people are not Muslim. Can the Muslims be loyal? They cannot be loyal in the long term. Just because they are not strapping themselves with bombs today doesn't mean they will not strap themselves with bombs tomorrow. Look at what happened in Fort Hood. Look what's happening in Afghanistan. The very troops that you are training turn their guns on you. The very troops that the Afghans are training, the Muslims, fundamentalists, turn their guns on them. The very people who were born in England from Pakistani background caused 7/7, the destruction in London. Who caused the destruction of the Twin Towers? They were educated people. They were in the West. Some of them were American. But they have no loyalty. They cannot have loyalty. As I said, it's not because they are evil. It is because their Sharia is evil. Their Sharia will not allow them to be loyal. You have now in the government of the United States advisors to the president, to Obama, and top advisor to Hillary Clinton, who are fundamentalist Muslims. This is unbelievable. This is like the fox guarding the hens. Back to you, sir.
All right, let me involve folks. So start with you, Chief.
I'm reminded of a quote by Dr. Laura Schlesinger, who said something like this: unless you're willing to stand up for the innocent, you cannot consider yourself to be a decent person. And so this, to me, means that anyone that's tolerant of Islam or the Muslim faith that allows this horrible actions on women fits that category. So the Muslims that claim to be peaceful Muslims, who are tolerant of the awful acts of Islam and the followers of Allah, they should be shamed, including our own Hillary Clinton and every other Democrat woman who supports these horrific religious acts that only imprison and torture women. They should have to go live that for themselves before they make these decisions again.
Brent?
I have the dubious experience of having seen the face of evil myself. When I was quite a bit younger, my very best friend in the world was shot to death. He was a bus driver in Brooklyn. He was shot by a maniac in argument over cancer. And I was at the trial, and I looked in this man's eyes, and I saw genuine evil. So I know that evil does exist. I'm not operating under some misapprehension, as perhaps many people are, that there cannot be such evil as you described. But my journalistic self has to ask you a question, Mr. Rassooli. You indicated in some of what you said that you were 30 years of experience makes you absolutely certain that the Quran is simply Muhammad's personal perspective. And I'm not suggesting that that's not true, but I'd like to ask you, what is it out of your experience that has given you such absolute certainty that the Quran was in no way divinely inspired, rather it was simply one's personal viewpoint?
Very simple.
All right.
I can destroy the Quran. I'll put it this way. I can discredit Muhammad as a prophet and the alleged divine origin of the Quran in less than 60 seconds in 20 different ways. I'll start with one. You ask the question, I'll give you the answer. The Quran in one verse says that Allah gave the Gospels to Jesus. That is in Arabic, it is in the Quran, in English, in 80 languages. In another verse, the same Quran says, Allah says, that Jesus did not die on the cross. A lookalike died on the cross. Now let me ask you a question. How is it possible, if Allah is the same as the God of Jesus, not know that the four Gospels that He revealed to Jesus, all four of them say, Jesus died on the cross, was resurrected on the third day? Does that make sense to you now? I rest my case. Less than 60 seconds. Muhammad and the Quran are finished. Have you understood what I said?
I'm sure he did. Brent, would you want to respond?
Yes, I understand. Well, I do understand what you said. By the same token, I was hoping for a more precise, analytical answer to the question. I too absolutely am very Christian, very much a believer in Christ and in Christ's teaching and in the Old Testament in particular, the laws of Yahweh. And as such, I understand what you're saying, but I was hoping that you perhaps had a more...
okay, I accept that. But I give you the most seminal answer. If Allah does not know that Jesus died on the cross, He cannot be God. Now, the other thing is this. The Arabic of the Quran is full of grammatical errors. There are 118 words in the Quran, the most important words in the Quran, which are not Arabic. There are many words in the Quran that even the exegetes of Arabia, the exegetes of Islam, could not even know what the hell they meant. the historical records in the Quran, the stories about Abraham, Jesus, Moses, and everybody else in the Bible are all wrong. They're apocryphal. Not one of them is from the Torah. Not one of them is from the New Testament. So how can you say that this is divine revelation? Cannot be done. Look, I have had 4 years asking and begging for people to come against me, Muslims. Not one of them has come. I have over $1 million worth of challenges. It's not an exaggeration. It's not a boast. It's a fact. I have over $1 million worth of challenges to every human being on the planet for the last 4 years. Not a dime has been taken. So I don't know what else I can give you that might convince you. But I'll tell you this. No human being on planet Earth and no intelligent life outside the solar system can come against me and win. Sounds like a boast. Tough luck. If I'm boastful, pinprick me, shoot, bring this balloon down crashing on the Earth. We talked about tolerance. The gentleman before you spoke about tolerance. Let me read to you an axiom. It says, if we extend unlimited tolerance even to those who are intolerant, if we are not prepared to defend a tolerant society against the onslaught of the intolerant, then the tolerant will be destroyed and tolerance with them. We should therefore claim, in the name of tolerance, the right not to tolerate the intolerant. Hence, we must never tolerate the intolerance of Islam and Sharia, nor allow them to soil our soil.
I love that.
Gentlemen, I didn't spend 30 years of my life to have anyone, literally anyone, debate me and win. This is not a boast. This is not a boast. Sounds like a boast, but it isn't.
All right, IQ, let me ask you a question here quickly. We started this discussion with the story of the raping, kidnapping, and prostituting of these overwhelmingly white girls in England. Under Sharia, did they do anything wrong?
Of course not. Not at all. By the way, it's not only in England. It's all over Europe, in the Scandinavian countries, in Holland, in France, in Germany. It's not a one-off. But in every country, the leadership is forcefully willing not to speak about it, which is wrong. Of course it is wrong. Under Sharia, unbelievers, that's you, I, and every human being who's not a Muslim, we are only beasts. I just quoted to you the verses in the Quran. These are from the Quran. These are not from my own invention. And these are only 6 verses I quoted out of 6,200. I can quote you another 200 of the same. Who has got time? I have the time if you wanted it.
All right, well, we only have a minute left. I want you to give very slowly the names of your books and the name of your website.
All they need to do is Google my name, Al-Rassooli, A-L-R-A-S-S-O-O-L-I. My book is called Lifting the Veil, The True Faces of Muhammad and Islam.
Well said, and thank you so much. We appreciate your...
God bless you, and thank you for having me.
We will have you back, I promise, although I probably won't be invited to any Ramadan celebrations. Thank you very much.
By the way, they're celebrating Ramadan by blowing a lot of Muslims in Iraq, in my own country. Over 100 dead, 253 wounded. Back to you, sir.
All right, well, I always say...
God bless.
Islam is the religion of pieces.
Absolutely.
Body pieces.
Absolutely.
Good night, sir.
Bye-bye, sir.
God bless you.
Stay tuned, everyone. We'll be back, although I don't know if we can top that. Let me ask you a question. Do you like being sick? I have in my hand an incredible product. It's called TR10 supercolloidal silver. TR10 stands for a trace to the negative 10th power. The particles in this silver product are 6 to 8 angstroms, 6 to 8 10 billionths of a meter. Now listen to me. Silver has been the magic bullet for all of human existence. The Egyptians used silver instruments. We use silverware. They put silver in your teeth because nothing can grow on silver. Silver will kill anything but liberalism. I'm working on that. This product, you go to cpnlive.com, buy 1 quart of this product. It will last you for a very long time. Anytime you feel like you've been exposed to something bad, take some of this product, spray it in your mouth, or take a little bit and gargle it, swallow it. It will kill any pathogen. The average antibiotic kills 10 to 20 different pathogens. This product will kill 700 plus. Do yourself a favor, do your family a favor, do your doctor a favor. He's tired of seeing you. Get supracolloidal silver. Go to cpnlive.com, order the product. It's $29.95 plus shipping. I think it's $39.95 delivered any place in America right to your door. It's worth 10 times that. Check it out. If you're not 100% happy, just return it and we'll give you your money back. Do you like being healthy? I do. In fact, this product, which I've been taking for years now, is absolutely the answer. Now, you may not believe it, but I'm actually 21, plus tax, of course. This product has 146 different healthful nutrients in it, and it's liquid, so it's bioavailable. It tastes great, and it's sugar-free. 1 ounce of Sonic Life each day will help you to maintain and enhance your health. It's a kind of a gift, well, that you'll thank your mom for, your husband for, your wife for, your kids for. Whoever you give it to, they're going to say thank you, and you are going to enjoy the benefits of having all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the nutrients your body needs in one very reasonably priced product. Just go to cpnlive.com and everything's right there. You'll be able to read all the ingredients. The price is right there, a flat price delivered to your door anywhere in the United States of America. Sonic Life is a gift, a great gift. Give it to yourself. I do. I like to eat. Do you like to eat? We all do. And usually we run to the grocery store, we run to the convenience store, or we have something in the fridge. But power's been out in parts of this country in the last few weeks. We don't know what's going to come down the pike economically. Smart people are putting in food. Alpine Air Gourmet Reserves is a line of foods that you can put away that will last for a very long time. You know, they say eat what you store and store what you eat. This is great tasting stuff, healthy for you, a full line. You go to our website, cpnlive.com, and click on the button for Alpine Air Gourmet Reserves and see all the different things we have. This is good tasting food. It's reasonably priced. It will last. And it's worth its weight in gold if a problem arises. I know you don't think there's going to be anything that goes wrong. Actually, you do. This is smart. This is smart insurance. This is smart preparation. This is smart thinking. You have kids. You have a spouse. You have parents. You have dependents. You have an appetite. All those things can be addressed by a frugal but smart investment in Alpine Air Gourmet Reserves. Try them out. You will be tickled to death with the taste of them. You know what? In many cases, people start to eat this and they think, heck, this tastes better and costs less than what you're going to the grocery store to buy. cpnlive.com, check it out.